Well, thank you everybody for coming out in this celebration of life for both Bill and Penny. And a lot of your faces I haven't seen in a while, so it's nice to see everybody. But at this point, we would like to open up the floor if people had any special memories of Bill or Penny, any kind of readings they would like to share with all of us.
Well, since I'm not very shy. Oh, I am. Sorry. But I might not make it. So the only reason I got down the Colorado River, all 277 miles of it, was because Penny and I were at Jakey Lee's having bagels and cream cheese and hot chocolate. And she said, I'm going to go over to Grand Canyon Expeditions. I said, why? Well, because I want to go down the river. I said, nah, that's not on my bucket list. Because for those of you who know me, I ride horses, not rafts. And she says, well, why don't you just come on over and let's check it out? And I said, okay. I mean, what the heck? I've never been into Grand Canyon Expeditions. By the end of our conversation with him, I'm signing up on the dang thing. So we got totally soaked. We totally loved it, but all 277 miles of it. She got stuck in mud. I got stuck in mud. I've got stories to tell about little red buckets, but I will not tell those stories. Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. Yeah. So it was all Penny's fault.
But it was awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah.
I have something. I thought I'd never be here today talking about Bill and Penny because they were to live forever with us. Bill, I met him when he showed up with his amazing truck, and I got to realize what it really meant. And it meant more to me what he represented. Bill was amazing with all the transportations that he did. It was unbelievable. And then he hooked up with Penny. So can you imagine what those transports were like? There were a couple times I had to put dogs that were hitching a ride to Portland. And when Bill said he leaves at 4 o'clock, he leaves at 4 o'clock. Not 1 minute to 4, 1 minute after. And these poor dogs were putting them into the van with 30, 35, 40 cats. So it was an interesting ride. But the one I remember with Bill, besides that, we had a situation with a dog up north, and we wanted to get her back. And Bill offered. It was a 7-hour drive to bring her back. And he showed up with her, and I'll never forget that. He was smiling from ear to ear, bringing back Rosebud back to us, and how important it was for us to bring her back. And he made that happen for us and for her. Now, that is something I'll never forget. As long as my memory's good, I'll never forget it. Penny, oh my God. Penny, I've known her for 5+ years. She volunteered at Old Friends 3-4 times a week. And what brought us together was, of course, Kit and Caboodle. And we created an amazing friendship, I think. We had the art of learning to disagree, learning to agree to disagree. We had those moments, but as time went by, I finally understood why she spoke up like the way she did. She was a voice for the animals. She spoke for them, and it was with a lot of love and compassion. And it took me a while to understand that, and then I started admiring it. She never gave up with Kit and Caboodle. She did things with them. I thought, no, don't do that, Dad. I'm very, very. Okay, I'm territorial about it. But she did. She said, "I got it. We'll make this happen, and all is good." And she did. And with her and a couple others, like Nancy and Carol and Lori, they made this happen. And Kit and Caboodle turned out to be amazing things. So you're wondering why I'm holding this. This is a little Christmas tree. Kit and Caboodle have interactive toys, and we always have to count them at the end of the day. And sure enough, one was missing. So Penny, bless her heart, took it to heart, and she tore that run up 4 times trying to find it. So then we figured out that Caboodle ate it. She did. It was a Santa Claus, 2 weeks to the day, he vomits it up. She was there. She brought it to me. We got it cleaned. And we made a little Christmas tree out of it. So I remind all our, our volunteers that are going to work with Kid Caboodle. Remember this? These count. And oh yeah, and Lori, you did. Thank you for being with Kid Caboodle. Sure. All right, so I can tell a lot of stories about Penny. I know some of you've heard this for 100 times, but I'm going to tell it 101 more times. What Penny did for me that touched us all. We found out Sheena was diagnosed with cancer. And she said, Jack, I need to talk with you. And what we're going to do, I want to take her to the Oregon coast. And I know, okay. Chit chat with a few people about this, and she was serious. And I, when talking with her, I see what she wanted to do for Sheena. Sheena was very special to a lot of us and to our New York office too. So I said, well, I need to go and talk to our team lead, to our group, to the vet techs, and to our vets to see if she can do this trip. Make a terribly long story short. The answer was yes on all counts. So now to get Sheena ready, of course, was taking her in her car, and we did a drill ahead of time. It took us 45 minutes to get the car ready for Sheena because she travels with a lot of wardrobe too, and all kinds of things and meds and everything that she needs for this trip. Also, Penny and I talked about what happens if something should happen to Sheena in the Oregon coast, and I said, well, I'll drive out there. We'll bring her back. So we chit-chatted about this, and the day came. And we loaded up the car with all her stuff. I said, Penny, where are you going to put all your stuff? She had a bag about this big and 2 bottles of wine. She was sad. So that off they went. She had a special collar that she wore. Sheena, not and off they went. And I stood there and couldn't believe what was just happening. And let me tell you, when that first picture came in, when Sheena was looking at the ocean, I lost it. A dream came true for Sheena. A dream came true for all of us. All our dreams went with Sheena. So they had a marvelous time, all kinds of videos and all kinds of stuff. And then they had a good trip back. They stopped in Sardonki's and ice cream and all that stuff. And why not? She deserved it. And they came back safely. It was a wonderful trip for all of us. And again, I'll never forget what Penny did for that. That was something we've not done here, but we got the blessings to do it, and she made it happen. So that was pretty darn cool. So I have something from Linda Shore to read about Penny. Linda is a big supporter of Kid and Caboodle. So I'm going to read what she said, and then I just want to read a poem, and then I normally don't talk this much. They're important people. This is from Linda. I had a world of respect and adoration for Penny. Over the years, I'd watch and learn from her at Old Friends. She knew of my passion and devotion to Kit and Caboodle and would go out of her way to arrange something special for them to do while I was there. A couple years ago, I had an extremely difficult and emotional time, especially leaving Kit and Caboodle, and I broke down in tears. Penny hugged me hard, ran to her car, and brought back a CD. She had tears in her eyes and told me to take it home and listen to Kingdom of the Beasts. She paused, looked at me, and told me all will be okay. And that's what she used to say, all's going to be all right, all's going to be good. She spoke with such confidence that I knew she was right. I'll never forget that moment. Thank you, Penny, for your immense generosity of heart, and rest in peace forever, dear friend. Rituals. We could be different, but we're all individuals, and that's for dogs and people. And unique. Okay, yeah, I was going to get to that too. But so that what brought me to this poem. It's about fingerprints, because we're all different, because and individual and unique because of our fingerprints. Not long ago, God called you home. My loss was heaven's gain. Though gone from sight, the fingerprints you left me still remain. The void you left, no one can fill. Your loss too much to bear. But oh, what comfort now to find your prints are everywhere. They show up unexpectedly, in moments and in places, in sights and sounds and scents. An event in the faces of those you touch with your warm heart and all of the loving ways. These marks you left, no floods can wash, nor can time fade away. That's Penny and Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
I cannot attend, but would appreciate if someone would share these words. I might make, maybe. For Bill, I will miss Bill's presence at the door of Dogtown headquarters. 5 days a week, he was the Dogtown police. Yeah, he was actually the welcomer and making sure. Yeah. He was, Dogtown police, whatever. He was always friendly, willing to help out. He always was checking to make sure people had whistles, had their name tag, and had closed-toed shoes. Yes. That worked. If they were bringing a sleepover dog back, he would tell them which way to go. I mean, yeah. But anyway, yes. He was, and then if somebody, heaven help somebody who drove around behind headquarters that was not a staff member, I can't say how many times. And a couple of times I had to say, Bill, with a smile, please. This is a smile. Okay.
It's like a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, he was. Huh, okay. So that was that. For Penny, I'm sure most of you know how kind-hearted Penny was, not only towards the dogs, but also people. On several occasions, Penny rented a cottage and gifted it to a caregiver or local volunteer to enable more dogs to go on sleepovers. Every time I stayed in Kanab, Penny always asked me, and at least once during each trip, she would bring over pizza and other food, but most known for her use of the margarita. Not that anybody knows what that is, of course. The name she gave to the machine made margaritas. And finally, very few people may know this, Penny would put her poop bags on her car windshield after she picked up behind the dog she was walking. I'm fairly certain on more than one occasion, Penny drove off with a poop bag still in the windshield. We know that for a fact, by the way. We laugh about the possibility of the poop bag flying off somewhere in downtown Kanab. Whoops! I will miss both Penny and Bill a lot. Goodbye, my friends. Okay, that's from Caroline.
Somebody else had the job of cleaning up the family. I don't think he would ever walk away from a job, but that one he was like, not doing it. So, yeah, he would, whatever they asked him to take.
He took. Yeah.
So I did a couple of in-state transports with Bill a while back. I didn't really know him very well, but I discovered he's quite a conversationalist. If you do an 8-hour in-state transport, and he did most of the talking, I actually learned quite a bit about Bill and his background, and he was really a kind of a cool and gentle guy. He likes to drive fast, and he has one hand on the wheel while he's doing and talking with me. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but I had kind of the death stare in my eyes, but I think he drove safely. And then when we got there to pick up the dogs, usually in some obscure Utah town, and I was thinking, well, Bill, you're an expert on dogs. You know how to transfer them from into the crate. And in fact, Bill wasn't particularly knowledgeable and never claimed to be. But I will say this, he had an intuition. He was able to connect with the dogs, even though he never claimed to be an expert. So we got all the dogs safely into their crates, because I'm certainly no expert on it, and safely back, and tremendously enjoyed the couple transports that I did with him.
I think the more experiences sometimes that I had, and the more different dog personalities I met, the more I could be a little blip. and he had none of that. I remember once being in admissions with him, and it was close to lunchtime, I guess, and so just the two of us were there. And suddenly, we were near the desk area, and from down the hall, the biggest, hairiest, wildest looking dog I've ever seen in my life came strolling down the hall. They're not supposed to be strolling in the hallways, they're supposed to be in a run. And I just about had a heart attack, and he's like, here we go. And he just stood up and he walked up and he went and he grabbed the dog, and I took off for somebody to get some help. And by the time I got back, he had the dog back down in the run where it was at. And it was a sweet dog, but it was about that big. And somebody had brought it in when we were doing something else, put it into one of the runs, and left, and the dog just turned around, opened the door, and came right back out. And from that point on, it was after that point that they put the locking latches on the doors to keep the dogs in, because Bill got him back in, and 10 minutes later he was back out. But I really, really appreciated his he just loved everything, everybody, everything, and did not have any of the negative kind of attitudes, the fear of something happening, and I really appreciated that. And that also enabled him to go into the runs with the shy dogs and sit with them and share that kind of calm piece.
I didn't have the privilege of working with Penny, but Bill was such a kind man, so gracious and so thoughtful, and really was nothing was ever really a problem. It was a no problem kind of guy, and I think what's so remarkable about both of these folks is that what this gathering displays in all of your love and communication of the impact they've had on our lives really reminds me so much of really the essential spirit of the sanctuary, and what it embodies really is that really beautiful thing that binds us all and that brought us all together. And the love of the animals and the love of the land and respect for each other. And so that's what really both of these folks so embodied so completely.
Thank you.
Sister-in-law, her brother was my husband, and he passed away March 6th, and she died 4 months later. And somebody here said she's very kind-hearted, but she wasn't towards her brother. Because he had a negative outlook. And she was always at odds with him about how he looked at things. So I don't know what's going on up there, but look at what's happening today. Anyway, those of you who helped me clean out her apartment knows that she didn't throw anything away. And I've got to think that it was just because she didn't have time. She was always giving of herself. But something interesting I found, she saved every driver's license she ever had, even the learner's permit. And another funny story is I was going through things and she had her college transcripts in a file folder, and it said college transcripts, and she had a little note written next to them, as piss poor as they are. And I don't know what the significance of the dollar bill she saved. It was circa 1969, and the back of it is so faded I don't even think it's legal tender anymore. Don't know what that was about, but she saved everything. And I thank everybody here for the kindness they showed her. You didn't get to know her as long as I did, but she loved every one of you.
Somebody needs to talk about the side, etc. And one of Penny's big deals was she always wanted to be arrested. Who the frig always wanted to be arrested?
No.
Just do a crime.
I know. So what do the local police do? What do they do with the finger blare sirens? Thank you, blaring and all that came zooming on up with pink handcuffs and arrested her.
And a warrant.
And then one one of the officers is also battling cancer, so they, yeah. But anyway, I had to put that out there.
Tell everyone what they arrested her for.
Yeah. What'd they charge her with?
Oh, well, I don't,
Not having enough dogs at her birthday party.
That's a felony.
Especially for her.
It was great.
Slurpee, her favorite dog, was there with the new owners, so that was really a lot. And Slurpee definitely spent some time with her and stuff. So that, yeah, so that was probably okay.
Oh, I'm a basket case. I'm gonna try and get through this, but he did not want to leave Canam. And I was like, I don't know, like look in the mirror. There's no choice. You gotta come at least for a little while. Because I think he, like I said in the program or in the pamphlet, he found his people here and his purpose, and I think he looked for that for a long time in life. And to be his family and to watch him, his heart fill with the love he found here. Just brought us so much happiness, and it's brought us a lot of peace thinking about the last years of his life. So, yeah, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who, appreciated him even when he did not wear a smile, because sometimes I do that myself. I was like, I know, Dad, they're speeding, but just like, give him a smile. And also, yeah, he did speed. There was always a moment where it was like, you can talk or drive, you can't do both. But anyway, he really found his purpose here, so thank you to everyone who made that possible for him. Yeah, I guess that's it. You want to add anything, Liz?
I'm really bad at talking. I just know, I know he found his place here, and he definitely did not want to come home.
He was mad he did in the end.
He was really mad. But until the last day, he told everybody this story about how he was refusing to leave Kanab, but that we made him finally leave, and it was the best decision he had made. So.
Yeah. So you can grab that. This is springtime. Thank you. So this is Bills. And then this one's Penny's. Yeah. So you can grab that. This is springtime. Thank you. So this is Bills. And then this one's Penny's. That'll be dedicated to Penny. You have a pin,
Okay.
and you can adjust to see how high. Let's see, just as a focal point right there. You like that height right there? Sure. Yeah. Okay. I can do that. So, and then the stake can go right in the back of. Yeah. Excellent. Perfect. So Penny, we have here. And then the stake, we have up there. Yeah.